Greetings, everyone. Hopefully, we are on the air. Uh, Welcome to Taiji and Qigong here at our regular class time of 12 o'clock on Tuesdays. Hope everybody is doing well, staying indoors and away from people. So, hopefully, this can give us something to do in that time. So hopefully we've got some people joining us. If not, I believe this thing will be recorded, so you can check it out later if you need to. Anyway, we'll start off with some warm-up of Qigong, and then we'll get into some of the Tai Chi. So, we'll just get to it. So, first thing we'll do is get our beginning stance, and this is called Wu Ji. I don't know if you can see my feet here. They're going straight forward. Tip this down real quick. We'll be going straight forward like that. Okay. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to have our feet going straight forward like that. For some just beginning, that will feel pigeon-toed. Right? Now, in this particular stance, we're going to try to get as tall as we can. So we're going to try to stretch up here. So if you remember when you were a kid and you were measuring yourself up against the door or whatever you were measuring yourself up against, you get up there and you get there and you try to make yourself as tall as you can without going into your tiptoes. That's what we're going to do here. So we're going to elongate all of this kind of stuff right in here. We're going to take in a good deep breath into the nose, and we're going to let it fill our lower abdomen. Come out. When we exhale, the abdomen comes in. Now, if you're new to this, you don't have to worry too much about this. Just try to keep it down in the abdomen. It will be probably difficult for you. Really focus on going in through the nose, out through the mouth. You can go in through you can go out through the mouth or the nose. You can only go in through the nose. All right, so now we're standing here. We're just going to kind of get ourselves loosened up. So staying in that nice extended position, we'll bend our knees just a little bit. Come back up, and in that range, you just gently bounce and shake the tension out. It's not a large bounce. I'm not doing this. It's just a relaxed kind of thing where you feel everything shaking on your legs. You don't see it, feel it shaking, you can just relax it a little bit. Qigong, literally translated, pretty much means breath exercise or breath skill. We're not going to really worry about matching the movements, but we want to keep breathing the entire time. So keep the movement going the whole time, and the breath going the same time, and come to a stop. And that way, everything will kind of stay together. Okay, so the next one, we're going to do forward arm circles. You're going to take your right hand, you're going to bring it up to the hip. You're going to bring it forward and lift it up to the shoulder. You're going to bring it into the shoulder. At the same time, the left hand comes up from the hip to the shoulder. Then the right hand drops down to the hip again, and you repeat the process. And then you make them 2 circles on either side of the body. Good. Now we're going to come to a stop here, and we're going to reverse it. So we're going out from the shoulder and then into the hip. Additional number of these is 20. But we'll be talking, and everybody's following along at home, so it won't be as exact. point is that we're just kind of loosening up the shoulder girdle. Here, our hips and our shoulders are connected, so we're turning at the same time, but we're not letting our knees buckle in. Good. Okay, the next one we've got here. We're going to step out to about shoulder width and a half, whatever's comfortable. You're going to get at a nice depth that's comfortable for you. With your right hand, you're going to bring it up to your face. You're going to shift over to your right foot, and you're going to act as if you're throwing something away. And you let the hand drop. And you're going to lift the other hand up, right on your center, to your face. Turn, same thing. And then you make it one smooth motion. Good. Come over the left leg, stop, and then bring your foot. Reorient here. A little dusty down here. We're going to have our feet together for this one. All right. We're going to sit back as far as we can. In this one, we're not going to allow the knees to go forward. Here, bring the hands in front of the chest. Come up onto the toes. Open up the chest. Come down. And again. So, stretching open. And close. Good. There. And the other way. And we come to this way. Cool. Now, this next exercise, done properly in full, requires you to walk. So, we are only going to do one step at a time here, and we're going to switch. If you have enough room in wherever you are, you can actually just take the steps, but I'll constantly be reorienting towards the center. That's totally okay for you to do as well, if you just have like a little space in front of your TV or something. Cute. Okay, so this one we call push the mill. Okay. With our upper body, we're going to do this. Basically, our hands are at chest level. We're not going to rise up and down. We're going to reach out, pull in, and then push out again, as if we were grinding something on this thing. With our feet, we're going to turn the right foot out just a little bit. We're going to take our step in here, we call ding bu, or T-step. We're going to step out to the other diagonal. Now our hands come up, we go forward, we come back. Forward and back. Nice comfortable depth. We don't have to worry about getting low yet. Fine. You bring the foot in, we'll step in, we'll step out, and do the same thing over here. Now I'm going to be going clockwise with my arms. See? So lower body there. I'm turning here, closed, open. Now, do it again here, in, out. But now we're going to continue going clockwise. And then we're going to do it again. 1, in, and now we're going to go back to counterclockwise. Now, step up or into your beginning position again. Now you're going to take all of these and put them together. This one is called Child Pays Homage to the Moon. We're going to take our hands and come up close. We're going to touch our fingertips here. We're going to overlap our thumb right behind the nail on the first joint. And we're going to keep our, here this. Now don't press too hard. We're just going to kind of keep it like this. Now, from here we start from our right hip. We're going to lead with the fingertips. We're going to stretch up and to the left. I know my hands are out of frame, but you know what they look like. And we're going to flip the hands over here. See, so we're leading with the fingertips here. And see, I'm turning my entire body. Twisting. Go down and back as far as you can. Flip them over again. Come down to the waist. Flip them over again. Go down to the hip. Keeping the knees straight. Go down to the knee. Go to the other knee. Then come back up to the other hip. Then to the waist on the other side. The opposite shoulder. Come to the center. Go straight up. And exhale down. Now, traditional breath and movement prescription is as we go up, we inhale. As we go down, we exhale. And as we come up, we inhale again. So, sharp inhale, slow exhale, slow inhale. And then up. And exhale there. You don't have to do it that way. If you're just starting out again, or you're not comfortable with the breathing yet, having problems with balance, all that kind of thing, just breathe as natural as you can. Just continue to breathe. And that should, over time, match up. But at the very least, you need to breathe. So, let's do it again. Now we're going to do it on the other side. So, hands together. Up. Shoulder. Waist. Hip. Knee. Knee. Hip. Waist. And shoulder. Come to the center. Go straight up. If you're like me, you might be touching your ceiling. And again. Up. Shoulder. Waist. Hip. Knee. Knee. Hip. Waist. Shoulder. Center. And up. Good. Up. Shoulder. Hip. Knee. Knee. Hip. Waist. Shoulder. Good. And we're going to do it one more time, each side. For the whole set. So, up, shoulder, waist, hip, knee, knee, hip, waist, and shoulder. Center, and up. Good. Last time. Up. Shoulder, waist, hip, knee, knee, hip, center. Okay. So that's the warm-up. We call that the Taoist longevity. It's a good warm-up to do. It's not very taxing on the body. I think the mistake people make when warming up probably the most is they warm up too much and they start to pre-fatigue themselves before activity. Warm-up should be gentle, very much like this. Just getting everything kind of woken up, right, and ready to do something. But we don't want to go too long. So keep that in mind as we're going on. Okay, so yes, so that is the Qigong. Now, that particular set takes us through some very fundamental movements, which we'll go through here real quick, and then we will get here to the Tai Chi and we'll show you how that kind of operates. Now, the first one that we should talk about is your hip hinge here, right? See? So now we have two different ways of doing this, and this corresponds with Tai Chi. So in Tai Chi, we have yin and we have yang. That's the whole essence of the art, is the interaction between yin and yang. So our hip and lower body strategies can be divided into two things, a yin thing and a yang thing. Okay? So the yang, the power production, how we create force with our lower body, is we call a lift. Now a lift, the mechanics are thus. My hips go back, my knees stay right where they are. See? Now I can pick something up, just like that, but I'm not lifting with the back, even though my back is going down, right? My spine, as long as it's in a neutral position, can hold a lot of force, right? As long as it doesn't move. So I use my hips and I push forward. Okay? Now the other way is the yin, and that is our squat. Okay? So our squat is our deceleration strategy. It's how we slow down. Okay? Now that way, the mechanics are the knee goes forward at the same rate and about the same distance as the hip. So they travel away from each other with the center of gravity staying in the middle. That looks like this. You see? Now, the angle of the upper body and the angle of the lower leg should be approximately the same. Right? A lot of people will squat and not allow their knees to go in front of their toes. This is a mistake, and it can lead to some overuse injuries in the future. Okay? We want our knees to go forward as far as our hips go back. That's going to keep the force, the weight, and the tension in our hips and in our thighs. Right? If we go back like this, we're doing a lift. It's not a good deceleration strategy. The best way to think about this is with a jump. Okay? When we jump, we go down into our lift, we rise up with the power, and then when we land, we squat to decelerate our descent. That's the easiest way to think about it. Okay? So now, this is going to relate here directly to the Tai Chi. We'll go through basically one of the 5 core movements, each of these lessons. Today we'll go through Lan Qi. Lan Qi means brush the bird's tail. Don't think too much about the meaning of that. It's more evocative in the Chinese and to people. Well, the metaphor is often lost, and it's probably lost through the ages. But anyway, brush the bird's tail. It's the common yang style, that type of thing. Now, where that corresponds with us is that corresponds to something we call central equilibrium, Zhongding, right? Which means basically staying steady in your stance. Okay? So it's one of our basic footwork principles. We'll go through the stances here real quick for people who do not know them. From our Wu Ji, you take one foot, turn it out a little bit, shift all of your weight onto the other foot. Lift the heel of the other foot and put it down where the toe used to be. Then put your foot down and shift forward like that. Now I'm kind of diagonal to the camera here because I'm there. So there. Okay? So you see that the distance between my feet doesn't change. I want to maintain this Wu Ji stance wherever I am, right? So that when I'm going back and forth like this, as you see, my head stays steady, right? If I have this out too far, then when I'm going back and forth, I'm starting to move in a way that I don't necessarily know I'm moving. So we try to keep it there. All right. So this is called Gong Bu. If we open up our feet to the diagonal so that they're parallel with each other and even, this is Ma Bu. This is what it looks like from the front. Okay? Now you can be anywhere from here, which is a nice high, a very comfortable beginner's stance. You can be down here, which is more athletic, right? If you're a young person and you really want to work on your lower body, you can get down here and do the stuff that way, right? Either of those there. We'll keep it kind of in between here, so you can see, big enough so that you can see what's going on, but I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. Just do what you can. Okay, so we are going to do this in Gong Bu. Okay, and we can start off here with a basic exercise real quick, just to go over the different things that we can do. This is all leading up to this one particular exercise, so, or this one movement, posture, however you want to call it. Okay, so if we stand here and we're Ma Bu, we're straight here. I'll try to square myself here. There we go. Okay, we take one hand. Okay, we have it here, and we make a circle like this. Okay, very simple. We understand that we can do this circle in both directions. Now the thing about it is, generally speaking, this is all your arm really needs to do. And we'll show you how this builds up here. Okay? So, we're there. Now if I do the same thing with this other hand here, right, and same thing here. Okay? Now, let's do both hands at the same time. Now if I do this, it looks like one type of thing. If I do this, it looks like another type of thing. Okay? So if I'm just doing this, we can see cloud hands. Right? I'm here. Doing this all. Back and forth here like this. Cloud hands. Best I can figure, cloud is a very common Ming Dynasty term to mean obscured. Most things that are called cloud, whatever, happen in front of the face. So that's all I got on that one. But it's a common thing here. Now, the other way to do this, right, is down. So we're doing this, and if we add our body into it, now we have a posture called rush knee cross step. Just like this. You see? but it's the same circles, right? That's all. It's just this, this, and this. Okay? You can produce power from it. You can decelerate. You can take pieces of it. All of that kind of thing. So that's the basics of the upper body movement. Generally speaking, biomechanically, we have two upper body, two lower body. Squatting and lifting, pushing and pulling. So added to this articulation here, we have pushing and pulling with the upper body. And we'll show you how that goes. We're going to use our lift. We're from here. We bend back, our knees stay here. We come forward. Now let's go into Gong Bu. So we have one foot in front of the other. We're going to do a lift on the back foot. Okay. Now, that shifts your weight, true. It does not have to. I'm going to get a little wider so you can see what's happening. You see, my weight shifts, but it's because my hips are moving back. So what I do is, as my teacher used to say, bow to your opponent. Bow. Okay? So here. So we're doing our lift off the back leg. Right? And like that. Now if we hold our hands out like this, and do this, now we add hands towards us, hands away from us. Hands towards us as we go back, hands away from us as we go forward, right? And it is pretty easy to see what we have here. It's our push. Right? Add a little bit of an extra movement in there. And you got it there. Okay? So we're going to take all of these things, we're going to put them together into a rather complex movement, right? We call brush the bird's tail. But it's kind of the beginning and the touchstone for everything that comes after it. Okay, so we're going to start in Gong Bu. I'm starting with my left foot forward. You can choose whichever one you want. I'll use dominant and non-dominant side, or forward and backward. Okay, so if I have my left foot forward, what I'm going to do with the other hand, right? If I'm standing like this, is I'm going to reach underneath my left hand with my right hand, and I'm going to lift both hands up to here. The pinky is up on this side, right? And my hands are crossed here. I'm going to turn this hand as if I'm plucking a piece of fruit off of a tree. Then I'm going to extend this arm, at which point we should be even with the elbow. Okay? Now I'm going to carve out a curve, and I'm going to turn 90 degrees to face that. This hand is going to come here to meet this hand, and these three fingers are going to point to the wrist. I'm then going to shift forward using my shoulder as the lead. Then I'm going to turn forward and separate my hands down by the hips. I then turn the hands up, lift to about shoulder height. I then bow and I draw my hands into the chest. I flip the hands over, push my hips forward, and extend my arms at the end. And then I release. Okay? Now, if I had movement, I would turn the front foot, I would step in, and I would continue. We won't do that step, I'll just do it from here. We step in here, we step out to our Gong Bu position, and again, we reach under, grab, and we check. And then lead back. And then push forward. Lift. Draw in, bow, flip, and push. And release again. I'll do it from the profile for people who want to see. With the right foot forward first, so you can see this side. Okay. So, I reach under, check, lead back, press forward, separate down, lift, draw in, bow, flip, and push. Do it left side so you can see this up. Reach under, check, lean back, press forward, separate down, lift, draw in, bow, flip, and push. Release. Okay. That's just the basic there. So, now, the way that we do it in our practice is we rotate, we pivot. Okay? I'll show you the pivoting footwork right now, and then we'll put it all together next time. Okay? So, point it down there so you can see my feet. Okay, so we are standing in our beginning stance like this. We're going to step out to what we consider the corner of a square. So we'll just imagine a square. Okay? Okay? So, this foot is at the corner of a square, this foot's at the center of the square. Now I'm going to rotate this way. So I come in here or pivot. Then I step out and back, then I put my foot down. And I open it up, and I pivot that way. Okay, so you can see a little bit better. From here, step in, out and back, foot down, open up, shift. In, out and back, foot down, open up, shift, and I'm off foot. So here. Okay. What that will look like with the exercise, it's pretty simple. And then so on and so forth. All right. Again, only do that if you have enough room, but it is there if you need it. So, okay. So, I'll show you how it's done in the set real quick, and then we will end for today. We're a little bit over, but it's okay. So, okay, we start here. We squat down, wrap it up. Rise and fall 3 times. We can continue. Okay, so that's what we have. Do we have any questions here or anything? Hello, ni hao, hello. My arthritic hip feels better now, just after the warm-up. The warm-up is probably going to be the more powerful tool for arthritis, joint issues, that kind of thing. Just because it's very gentle. It runs us through very natural ranges of motion, right, and gets us to feel that. And it's in the entire purpose of that is joint mobility. A lot of people are very concerned about flexibility, extensibility of their muscles, and all that kind of thing. That's really not what you should focus on too much, but it's just joint mobility. Are your joints restricted? Because when your joints are restricted in any type of way, right, that's where injury can really start to happen. So yeah, worry about joint mobility, and especially shoulder and hip, right? We talk a lot about, shoulders and hips. With the hips, make sure that you delineate your squat and your lift, right? Your yin and your yang, right? Are you squatting where your knee and your hip are going away from each other, or are you lifting where your hips are going back and coming back forward? All right, so that type of work and making sure that you can do those two things when you need to are going to keep your hips nice and open. Remember, your pelvis also is a joint in and of itself, right? Doesn't move much, but it moves a little bit. So when you're getting into these wider stances, which might be a little uncomfortable for some people, right, you are really, really helping everything move around. So the mabus, horse stances, that, all that kind of thing. Also, just keep the spine erect, right? When you're doing forward bends, don't bend and don't cave in. We don't want to see this, right? There's a little bit of, here, try to cinch it a little bit so you can see. You should have a small curve right to the back, more or less depending on how many tacos you have, as in my case. But as we go back, you see I'm not doing this. Okay, there's where the rotation is from the back. If I do it from the hips, then my back stays nice and solid. So, okay. Yes, so with the breathing, the general rule in Qigong is as you extend, you inhale, meaning I'm thinking about inflating my limbs, right? And then when I'm contracting, I'm thinking about pushing that air out using my whole body, right? Or whatever I'm using. So, and we'll do some different Qigong every now and then, just to keep it spicy. But even if we're just opening and closing the hand, I'm thinking about inhaling through the hand and then exhaling, right? Squeezing out the air. It's just a visualization, and it helps you get everything together. So, all right. Okay, so if there are any questions, please let me know. Let's see if we have any on Facebook. And I can answer. Is it a good idea to do this before we practice with the lightsaber? I say yes. I'm biased, but there you go. Especially the warm-up. The warm-up specifically, the the Taoist longevity is a really, really great warm up. It's easy. It doesn't tire you out. It really wakes you up. It gets you through these ranges of motion that you're going to use pretty universally. And then just add whatever activity you're doing, whether you're playing tennis, whether you're playing volleyball, whether you're doing fencing or lightsaber or any of these sports, right? A warm up. You could do the general ones like these. These are good for practice, and it gives you movement prep and all that kind of thing. Like if you're going to go, just before warm-ups, again, they should be pretty brief and not too strenuous, right? And for most of the thing, whatever you're about to do, just kind of do some light mimicked motions. It's pretty intuitive. We already do it all the time. So there you go. That's the better warm-up, and then you get into it. You're fresh. You've got your mechanics down. But going through the longevity Qigong, really, really nice because you can get some squats in. You got some forward bends. You got some lifts. You've got a little bit of... There's a lot of benefits that you get from Qigong beyond just the obvious ones. Breath and all that kind of thing. And breath is very important these days. So let's keep breathing. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, or the nose, but breathing always in through the nose to get proper oxygen mixture, and really trying to use that lower abdomen there. All right. So, okay, well, I think that might be... it. We will leave it there. I will be back next week, same time, same channel. And be sure to join us on Thursdays for Kung Fu and Fridays for Sword Lab. Those will be on the Terra Prime channel. This one will be here on the Liberty Athletic Club channel. But they will be posted in all areas on Facebook and elsewhere through the social media. So if you miss it here, you can always pick it up somewhere else. So I will leave you there. We will we will close today's class. We will move on with the week. I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy. We will see you next time. I will see many of you on Thursday at 6 p.m. for Kung Fu, and we'll see you then. So, see you later. Have a great day.